Hi guys, Jay Smith here, welcome to AskGolfNut channel and welcome to a PXG Black Ops driver. I've already done the 0311 irons, the XP, the P and also the Black Ops iron. They're on my channel listing. It's now time for the Black Ops driver. One very quick thing on the head cover, which is nice and leather, we've got a little tab, and this little tab, I didn't realise, is magnetic. Now, quite cool, it's designed to go on your cart so you don't lose your head cover. There you go, nice little idea, PXG. The standard PXG Black Ops driver, the Tour I have not got because when I did my testing of this, the full fitting at the PXG London store, I didn't get on with the Tour. The Tour was a little bit that, where this one done exactly what I wanted it to do. Hence why it's important for you all to get custom fit. But this one is in 9 degrees, it has got plenty of technology in here. Very quickly, let's have a look at the face. It's got its own variable thickness face. It's got its own variation of roll and bulge, curvature of the face. That's to try and keep the golf ball going in the direction that you want it to from off-center hits. We have got carbon on the sole and carbon on the crown. We've got carbon everywhere. That's to try and move weight to where it wants to. Talking about weight, we've got 3 ports in there where I think we've got 12.5 grams at the back and 2.5 grams in the toe and the heel. And they come in different sizes, so if you want to move more weight in to make it more draw biased or whatever it be, and then you can also, if you want to, put heavier weights in the back. I think they come up to about 20 grams or so. Yeah, from the website at least. And you can make it 10K. The famous 10K, the infamous 10K. We are at a hole where it's not drivable, but we've got to get it down there for a little chip onto a green, so it's quite a nice picturesque hole to hit from. Looks wise, we have a shiny crown. It is not for everybody, I must admit. There is quite a lot going on the top here. So we've got the black glossy frame, we've got the carbon on show, and then we do have the graphics out the back. Some people like it, some people don't, but that's what it looks like. And then we have the underside. It's very glossy, very black. We've got a little bit of carbon on there as well, but as you can see, it's not a bad looking driver, I must admit. Is it my favorite looking driver of all time? No, it's not. But then if it performs well, does looks really make a difference if you start striping it down the fairway? Up to you on that one. Right, let's go give this one a hit to see how well it works. I will be testing this at my 3 different swing speeds as well. 90, 100 and 110 miles an hour. My normal is 110 miles an hour, give or take when I warmed up, need to warm up. And so we'll see how well it works when we start taking speed away. And I'll also give it a whack from weird and wonderful spots to see how all of the face works and see how much drop off you get in a nice little heat map so you guys can visually see how forgiving this driver is or not. Right, let's go give it a hit. It doesn't look that bad down by the golf ball at all. It's going to hug the left hand side, but I can't complain as long as you can see the green there. Go on, kick right. Oh, I kicked right enough. Decent distance, cannot complain. So slightly toey, you can see their 9mm toe, 0mm high, so decent strike, can't complain at all. Club path and face to path is very, very good. Again, 0-0 is always decent, and carry of 283. Now for me, 283 is a long way. Why I say a long way? Because when I did my testing of this, it was a little bit left and a little bit right, as we all are, because we're human beings. But one thing I will say, this thing was ridiculous at being the same front to back. It was a joke. 275, 275, 275. These T's get everywhere. So it was just really, really good at being able to hit that same number. That's the whole idea of forgiveness as well, guys. Obviously, it's got to try and hit target as best you can do, depending on obviously where you face that face. But it's got to try and hit the number which you are delivering all the angles to do. That's also when it comes to the forgiveness side that we're going to do afterwards, is we call it distance factor. How easy does this thing hit the same distance regardless of where you whack it on the face? So first shot, very good. Feel wise, poppy. This is a carbon driver with a titanium face, so it's not nowhere near loud like titanium ones used to be. Give it another go. First one, not bad at all. Similar turn. I may not get away with that one this time. I'm getting a little bit closer to the left-hand side. That's still a win. I'll take that one. Still slightly toey strike. Yeah, you can tell 13mm toe, 0mm low, so strike was a little bit toey, but delivery was not bad whatsoever. 0-0 delivery. but with that toe, wants to make that golf ball gear a little bit. But 281 yards of carry, I cannot complain at all. So this hole absolutely would want you to hit it down on that left-hand side for it to then turn towards the green. That's why a draw suits this one. Again, if you're going to hit it to the right and that slope will take it, the draw is a better shot to hit, but it's working very, very well. 281. For this driver, 281 is a long way. Spinning at 2.2, which is a really good spin number. It's not too low. As soon as you get the spin numbers too low, yes, you may get your optimum distance if you're a faster swing speed golfer, but you will also get a lot of turn on your ball as well, which isn't great. The lower you have your spin profile, the more sensitive it is to turning left and right, hence why the Tour was a little bit wayward, because the spin profile is lower, and if you deviate even slightly, just wave to it. This one is behaving itself, is what I like to see. But 281, that's a long carry for this driver for what I've done in the past. I'll take it though, absolutely. No, I thought I was going to turn. It's absolutely fine. Slightly high toe this time, but pretty darn decent. Yeah, we're getting down there. Can't complain at all. So I'm having a good day for distance, absolutely. So strike was similar, 10 mil toe, 6 mil high. So I'm just focusing in around the toe today. But the delivery wasn't as great, 1.6 across, 1.9 open. But with that toe, took away the fade dynamics and 284 yards of carry. Just working really well. Spin at 2.1, that was 2,100 spin. Even with a high toe strike, generally speaking, as soon as you miss away from the middle, you will get a certain amount of gearing. This has roll and bulge. The part of the technology in the head has PXG's own curvature, its own curved face, to try and get that golf ball to do the thing that it wants to do. And you're going to get spin change. And the fact that I can hit a slightly high toe, but not drop the spin off too much and get that kind of fall out the air flight, really quite good. 284. That's long. That's for my driver, that's give or take around about normal, but for this driver here with a slightly higher spin profile, especially than my lower spin driver, this is doing pretty darn decent. Could this go in the bag? The fact that it's got a really good predictable shape to it and is not exactly what you call short. 284 carry. What's that, 301 total? Yeah, you'll take that one. Give it another go. Well, you take that, fadey dynamics, but yeah, that's getting out there. Decent hit, just little fadey dynamics. Club path 1.7 across, face open by 2.5 and a little 2 mil toe, 2 mil low. Decent, can't complain. That's why it's got a little fade to it, but it's not a bad shot whatsoever. Spin's gone up because of my open face, etc. As soon as you change your, like to a draw, you generally speaking take spin off. As soon as you have a fade, you add a little bit of spin and there we go. So 278 carry. Again, that's really very, very good. Considering that was my fault, not the golf clubs, and it's just done exactly what I'd want it to do. I mean, that's 278, 294 total, and hit the fairway, split the middle. Feels really good, works really well. What more is there to say? Now, the fact that you can add some weight in the back of here if you really want to make it 10K, the buzzword that there is at the moment in the driver market, 10K this, 10K that, no different to AI this and AI that. And when we say it's not 10K, it's going to be 9,862, so close to 10K anyway. Are you really going to notice? A little bit. Right, last one. And then we're going to give it a whack load of times, 3 different swing speeds, hit all over the face and see how well it does. Dialed it up a little bit, missed it on the toe though. That might be the longest one yet. That's why I'm trying to dial it up, but I mishit it slightly. You see how good it is. 289, you can see there, that's a distinct mishit. 16 mil toe, 6 mil high is not middle, as I swung a little bit faster to try and get it out there, but just mishit it. Club path is 1.4 across, face is open by 0.8, so club dynamics are really quite good, can't complain at all. 289 carry, 307 total, hit the fairway. running down the fairway to the green. It's just a really good driver. I'm really interested to hit this one 3 different swing speeds, see how well it does. Obviously, we're talking about spin profiles. That's the biggest miss hit. Oh, that's 22 millimeters gross away from middle, and it's only just hit into the 1900. So the spin profile absolutely is set very, very good for what I need from a driver. So hit it all over the face. Let's see how well it works from weird and wonderful strikes, more weird and more wonderful than that, and also hit the heel and low as well. And let's go test it 3 different swing speeds. Let's go see how the PXG 0311 Black Ops driver gets on. All the shots now hit with the PXG 0311 Black Ops driver, quite a long name. And I will say one thing before we get into the information. Wow, what a driver. I don't really get that excited over drivers, generally speaking, because drivers are different. Some may do this, some may do that, etc. But this driver is possibly one of the best of 2024. It is really very, very good. So we'll look at the forgiveness in a second. Let's go have a look at what happens when you hit at 3 different swing speeds. See what happens when you start taking some speed away. On the screen, you can see we've got 3 different swing speeds. We've got the red, the yellow, and the blue. The red is 90 miles an hour, the yellow is 100 miles an hour, and the blue is 110 miles an hour. We've got the club head data underneath. We'll have a look at that one in a sec. But let's just go by the carry distances first of the different swing speeds. Let's go by the slowest one, the red at 90 miles an hour. 220 yards carry, basically. Not bad whatsoever. You still can get a bit more out of this. And why? Because if you look at the launch conditions, you're launching at 14, just over 14 degrees, and spinning at 1779. At 1779, that is not enough to keep the golf ball up in the air, especially when you slightly mishit it. And so you would need to put more spin on this golf club. Now remember, this is at 9-degree head. I have not changed the loft on the head. I haven't changed the shaft or anything. This is a test to showcase what happens when you just take speed away. So many senior golfers and so many amateur golfers are playing with 9-degree heads still, and they swing at 90 or so, 80 so miles an hour, and they struggle and they wonder why the golf ball doesn't go very far. In this situation, absolutely what you need to do is to either add loft to the driver, definitely a good idea, or at least go up into a different lofted option. Now PXG do make quite a few different lofted options. You can see on their website just how many they make, and I'll put up on the screen if I can find it. But you would definitely go to say something like a 10.5 degree driver, and then you've got the options of adding loft as well. That would then give you some more launch, and it would definitely give you more spin. It would give you a little bit more extra in the carry distance as well, and with a slightly higher spin profile, it would give you a little bit of wiggle room as well when you don't hit the middle. And if you get a slightly high toe one where you reduce the spin, it's not going to fall out of the sky and cost you some valuable distance. If you go to the yellow, the 100 miles an hour, we've got now a carry of 246. Nearly 250 yards carry. Now we are talking that's fairly decent from a 100 mile an hour swing. You could take that all day long. We've got spin now 2100. 2100 is absolutely fine. It's still slightly low for a 100 mile an hour swing speed. Not too bad obviously for 110 because you've got a little bit more speed there, but 100 miles an hour, I'd want to see that spin around about the 22, 23, absolutely. And so you can still, with this drive at 9 degrees, still add a little bit and you get that one, no problem. Still launching at 14 degrees, gives you a bit more wiggle room, 250 yards of carry, you are doing well. So at the full-on 110 miles an hour, or 108.9, as you can see underneath, we've got that magic 275 again. We are swinging at 108.9 in the test rather than the 110 miles an hour that you saw on camera. I was getting the 283s and 281s, etc. So just a little bit of speed difference, but 275 yards is pretty darn decent. It's also doing a spin profile of 2.3. 2.223 is an absolutely ideal number because from my point of view, I love hitting as a miss the toe, slightly high, slightly toe, or middle. That's what that's my pattern of shots. And so if I'm going to hit a slightly high toe, I will get a slightly higher launch, but a slightly reduced spin rate. And of course, if you have a spin rate too low to start with, which is much more closer to your optimal, the problem is you start reducing spin, you can actually lose distance from hitting a miss strike rather than at this situation at 2.3 as a baseline spin number. If I did hit it slightly high toe that you saw actually in the last shot, that it went actually to 2.89 carry because I hit it slightly higher toe, launch slightly higher, spin slightly less, but still well within the amount that gives me my optimum distance. It just gives me a little bit more wiggle room, and that's what people need to do with their custom fits, making sure they have their baseline spin number right so they have an opportunity to miss it and not cost themselves valuable distance. If you go down to the club head data, you can see there 88.8 miles an hour, 98.9 miles an hour, 108.9 miles an hour, so within the 10th of a degree. There goes your 10 mile an hour per club. If you look at the efficiencies, 1.46, 1.45, 1.44. Common to see a slight reduction in efficiency as we swing a little bit faster. That's because there is a slight reduction in energy transfer, whether it be through sound, whether it be through heat and the ball, etc. So there's always a slight reduction, but absolutely normal. Attack angles within a degree, 1.1 degrees. Club path is within a degree, and face to path is within 0.1 of a degree of all three data sets at 3 different swing speeds. Loft was within 0.8 of a degree, and you got your strike on there as well for you to see. Just to make sure you can see everything is apples to apples testing. Of course, when we're talking about slow swing speeds, in the real world, what we do is we would add a little bit of loft, etc., to gain a little bit more distance, just showcase what happens when you keep everything exactly the same and you just take speed away. Have a look at that club and ball compare screen if you like looking at the graphical side rather than streams of tabular data. Some people just prefer to see that rather than lots and lots of numbers. So forgiveness is what happens when we see what happens from off-center strikes. When you hit a golf club at a certain point, how much drop off do you get? So in an iron, we do this with a normal efficiency map where we basically just whack it from weird and wonderful parts of the face and see how much ball speed drops off. And so you can quite easily work out how much distance you're going to drop off if you keep everything else the same and you just lose some ball speed. You get a drop of distance, drop of peak height, drop of everything. With a driver and anything with roll and bulge, a curved face is a little bit different. You cannot measure it in the same way that you do have a flat-faced iron. You have to do it in what we call distance factor, not efficiency. And so because a driver, for example, has got less loft at the bottom, if you did an efficiency map, it would always come out green at the bottom because there's less loft. And it would always come out red at the very, very top because there's more loft. That's the whole idea of curvature. When a driver, that's the whole idea. It's designed to hit it high in the face, launch higher with slightly less spin, and you gain that distance back, no different to on the bottom. It launches slightly lower, but with a little bit more spin, so you get a little bit more climb. Otherwise, it would just obviously hit the ground earlier. That's the whole idea of roll and bulge, or bulge and roll, depending on which way you want to talk about it. So we do a distance factor map, and as you can see on the screen there, we have an example of what this distance factor map is. And this driver is blooming brilliant. The size of that green blob is mental. It is pretty darn big. Now, of course, you see the red. Green is good, red is bad. There's no surprise that on the heel, especially near the shaft, it is fairly red. There is no driver on the planet that likes you hitting it from the loft adapter. And so I would absolutely urge every single person, if you do have a tendency to hit out the heel, please don't, because no driver on the planet likes being hit there, and no different to this driver. But it does have a massive green blob somewhere near the middle and slightly going out towards the toe, because the center of gravity on this golf club is a very, very slightly draw biased golf club. You can see by my testing that I did, I was delivering on a couple of them very, very slightly faded dynamics, and it hardly wanted to turn whatsoever. It's basically keeping it straight, and it does want to move a little bit draw, but it's not a big draw biased driver at all. It just has a tendency to be a little bit draw biased, and you can see by the green there, there's just lots and lots of green, still lots and lots of yellow. I mean, green is good, red is bad, yellow is still fine, orange is so-so. You kind of get the idea. You can hit this driver from some weird and wonderful spots, and you still are going to hit the number which you want it to hit. So let's just call it my magic 275 on this driver, swinging at about 109 or so miles an hour, and you can hit that same number from a big portion of the face. Like a really big portion of the face, you can get away with some really weird strikes. PXG, you've done a wonderful job when it comes to mapping this driver out. PXG have made their own idea of roll and bulge. They have designed their amount of how much they curve the face, etc. And I must admit, it's doing an amazing job at trying to get those golf balls going the distance that they should do from not ideal strikes. So the conclusion to the PXG 0311 Black Ops driver, standard, not the Tour. Let's just go by looks first. Looks is not for everyone. The crown is quite busy. Everything's quite busy, really. I don't mind it. The crown's a little bit busy, and I don't necessarily like that. The sole looks fine, very glossy, very shiny, very black, carbon everywhere. I don't mind that whatsoever. Down by the golf ball, it looks a decent shape of driver. I don't really care about shape too much, but some people do, some people don't. Feel, it's the same feel that you get from every single other driver at the moment, which is titanium faced and carbon based around the main structure of the driver. When it comes to performance though, and forgiveness, it's just make sure you get custom fit. Obviously make sure you get custom fit so you've got the right size loft of head and stuff like that. You've got to make sure that, because that is very, very important. But how this thing works, This really could go in the bag. So easy. It's a predictable flight. I know it's going to want to turn a little bit. I don't mind that whatsoever. I know it wants to hit the 275 mark if I swing at 109 miles an hour. Or you can see in the testing, I can swing at 110, 111 miles an hour, and I can get it out there a little bit better. Even in the shots you saw on camera, they weren't hitting the middle, and it was still going exactly where I wanted them to go, or they were continuing to go, and got more distance. It's a really very good driver, PXG. I wouldn't do the Tour. The Tour is a very sensitive girl, and I found that out when I did my testing over at PXG's flagship store. It's just very sensitive. While the standard driver, I really don't understand why the Tour's even there, probably for 0.1% of golfers out there, but this standard is just mentally good. Well done, PXG. You've made just a golden goose in this driver. Never change it. Spray paint it a little bit or make it black completely and not know, but it's just a wonderful piece of kit. Really, guys, honestly, you should really give this a go. It is a definite one to put on your list for testing going forward. So hope you liked the video. If you did, go and give it a big thumbs up, hit that like button. YouTube like, so do I. Down there is a subscribe button. It's free. It is great for the channel if you could subscribe, so thank you. And next to that one is a bell icon. That's a notification bell. If you click that one, that will notify you next time I upload another video. Hope you well. We'll see you again soon.